Hey, what's up, YouTube world? It is your girl here, the Venusian Bull, and I am back with another video for my Planets in the Houses series. And in this video, we are going to be talking about Jupiter in the sixth house, all right? So, just as a reminder, the sixth house has to deal with schedules and routines, fixing things, DIY projects, workplace environment, jobs, health, wellness, what needs to or what has to be done, assimilation, integration, and how you can be of service, all right? So, with Jupiter in the sixth house, remember Jupiter does have to deal with religion and spirituality. So, religion is probably a daily part of your life. You may read a passage like out of the Bible every day and kind of, that is a part of your everyday life. Or if you're on the more like spiritual plane, you may, meditate or pull do a tarot reading or something along those lines. But something about your life is there's some consistency when it comes to religion or spiritual work. And I always lean more towards religion for Jupiter and spiritual for Neptune. So we're just going to kind of keep with that themes, although they can be interchangeable. So whatever. So yeah. So you may go to church every Sunday or like a Bible study or whatever your religion is. If you are, Islam or Jewish or whatever, religion is a part of your everyday life or you're part of your like consistency in your life. Also, travel is a part of your everyday life. So you may like travel for work. So in terms of like being of help and service, those people who like drive the old people around or they or the elderly people, they pick them up from their homes or then they take them to different places, like they take them to their doctor's appointments. You have to be like mobile in some type of way, or because Jupiter does represent like international affairs and kind of like foreign affairs, you could be helping people from foreign countries, that come, to the States and things like that. You could be a social worker and kind of like specialize in helping, the people who are coming from these foreign countries, or maybe like even orphanages or something like that. You could like work in an orphanage that has people, children from multiple cultures, races, ethnicities, and things of that nature. And you may travel like far for work or have like a commute or something along those lines. A lot of the best ways for a Jupiter in the sixth house person to be of service is to teach and or preach. You know what I'm saying? They're the preachers of the planets of the zodiac and things like that. Remember, Jupiter does rule Sagittarius. If you have Jupiter in the sixth, it's kind of similar to having Jupiter in Virgo. So your way of teaching and preaching is going to be it can come off as a bit judgmental. You know what I'm saying? And Jupiter energy is already like on 10 and already blunt. So you're adding some grandness to this sixth house. The sixth house isn't particularly grand per se, but Jupiter is adding that big kind of personality and that loud like preacher kind of, voice. You know what I'm saying? So you could be like your everyday job would be like a clergy, or you could be learning about theology, going to school for that and things of that nature. You have high standards in business when working with people. You could have large workloads as well. So you could just have a lot on your plate. Jupiter kind of has a little bit of a different connotation in the sixth house. But you could be lucky with work. Like you could always stay with a job, like, and it never be like a thing. Like it's always easy for you to get a job because you just have like kind of this big high level outlook on things, and you don't really have to like opportunity always comes when it comes to a job. I'm not talking about a career. I'm just talking about a job. So you got to stay focused on that. You're big on helping those who are less fortunate. So like I said, working in an orphanage or working as a social worker and things like that may be really beneficial for you, or just may be a part of your the generosity that you're giving, what makes you feel what makes you happy. You take great pleasure in the work that you do because Jupiter is pretty jovial and vibrant. Although in the sixth house, like Jupiter in Virgo is debilitated. So it's kind of like that in the sixth house too. It's not able to kind of like reach its full potential in the sixth house, but you still take pleasure in the work that you do. Okay. There could be some conflict with big picture ideas and details. Remember, Jupiter is all about the big picture. Sixth house is all about the details and analyzing every single thing. So there may be some conflicts with that, especially when it comes to your work environment and dealing with your coworkers and things like that. But you're definitely like at work, you're like the happy go lucky person. You're like, okay, this is what we're going to do. You're definitely the teamwork person. Like, you're always like trying to, make people feel better at work, particularly. You're big on morals, literally, pun intended for big. So morals is like a big thing, especially in the sixth house, because the sixth house is already like kind of that has that do-gooder energy. So you put Jupiter there, you have high morals and high standards for like pretty much everything, but definitely like in your everyday life and people at work and things like that. And you can be like very loud and meticulous. So it's like a combination of the big and the, like I said before, and the detailed. So that was my take on Jupiter in the sixth house. Let me know if this resonates with you, or if you have this placement, kind of how have you dealt with this placement, and anything that you would like to add in the comments. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.